Doyle is the author, like we said, of chapbook, The Day Walt Disney Died. His work has appeared in Pank, The Rumpus, The Fiddleback, Volume 1 Brooklyn, Monkey Bicycle, and other places. A Brooklyn resident, he works hard every day to be a better person and is learning how to love himself more, which is very inspiring. And very pleased to introduce Sean Doyle.
Yeah!
Woo! Hey, good evening. Before I get started, I wanted to tell you guys the thing I'm going to read tonight. The last time I read it, I had to stop reading and break up a fight. So I kind of appreciate it if everybody was cool, like no violence. So everybody take a deep breath in, let it out. Take another deep breath in, let it out. Thank you. What I'm about to read for you is actually dedicated to Matt Nelson and Jacob Perkins of Mellow Pages Library. If you haven't been there, please go there. Please feel what a community actually is. It's important. This is called Are You My People? I like to stand in the middle of the streets at 3 a.m. and watch cabs buzz by a little too close, while I smoke and look for signs of intelligent life lurking around at that hour. Last night was a couple of homeless folks in their 30s hanging around outside of a McDonald's and cleaning their feet with tiny bottles of hand sanitizer before hitting me up for smokes and then pulling on their packs to go about the rest of their lives. Last night was a lonely and chattering cabbie that told me about his arranged marriage and how it failed and his heart was broken because she left him as soon as she got to this country, and she left him for a white man. Last night was all about trying to stay warm and cool while thinking about the city and murder and dodging bullets. Last night was a tiny taste of the world we live in, a taste that disproves the theories volleyed about across classrooms and waiting rooms, in cancer centers, in the wastelands. Last night was a night only the awake and the agile and the aware would actually enjoy. Have I ever told you about my hands? My people are the people. My people go to jail. My people cry in public. My people scrap to live. My people pull their own teeth. My people hug hard and true. My people scoff at surprise. My people getting and get going and never look around waiting for a pat on the shoulder or a gold star on the fridge. My people spill their blood and never call it a sacrifice. My people understand convenience is sloth. My people rise silently and get the fuck to work. My people put one foot down and stand fast while the world around them burns. My people catch the scent of an outlier before the outlier says a goddamn word. Do you think you are my people? There's a one-armed man I see every morning who sits on the steps of the church and seems to be doing nothing else but watching the people scurrying to get around and to and fro in front of him. The morning light is agile. The morning light is spry. Some mornings I see him rubbing his stump with his remaining hand. Some mornings he has a cup of coffee on the steps next to him. Some mornings he isn't there, but I still see him. Last night I dreamed of spiders hatching under my skin. I could see them causing my tattoos to rise and fall and ripple and swoon. Spiders have always been a fear, always been an enemy. I was bit by a spider when we first moved to the desert, a brown recluse. The tissue surrounding the bite was hot and hard, like freshly poured titanium from a smelt. I was delirious. The doctor in the ER cut an X into the mound of hot and hard flesh with a scalpel, and the moment the skin was broken, a hiss came out, and a stink rose into my nose, and even now, that stink is still around. The doctor told my mother that I could have lost my leg. I spent the rest of that summer with a can of aerosol deodorant and a lighter at the ready. I would cook the spiders until they would burst, webs melting and ash floating up around the flame. I didn't even have the capacity to differentiate the species of spiders. Black widows died alongside brown recluse and wolf spiders. I killed them all. I killed them all. In the not too distant future, the world will swallow this up. These cities will be dust, and the words we all so desperately cling to will be ghosts. My people are a cock ring in a blizzard. Back to these hands again. In the earliest part of the morning, these hands try to rub the sleep from my vision and hold the blood machine steady. I squeeze the tip of a finger on my left hand until the fingerprint glows purple, and then I stick it with a lancet and watch the blood droplet form and then release from the tiniest of holes. It coagulates. It looks sluggish. It globs onto the electronic strip, and then the blood machine tells me what I already know. I have a disease in my blood. I have my father's hands. My eyes are my mother's eyes, but with the hang and sad that lived in my father. Brown, sometimes black, most times cloudy with a dash of the smallest light. The sockets and the bags belong to me. The sockets and the bags belong to my worry and my reluctance to age, my reluctance to accept my fallibility. My mother and father are ghosts now. I have held both of their lifeless bodies to my lips and felt the nothing every last one of us will know. I once tried to pry a hot bullet from a tree with my fingers. When the tips touched the base of the casing, there was a hiss, and current shot through the nerves to my brain. Orgasms are painful, which is why we crave them, why we fight for them, why we manufacture pills to facilitate them. Orgasms are painful and remind us that pain is how we know we are here on this very ground and not just in our heads. Someday in the future, this will make much more sense. I do not know how many living human bodies these hands have touched. Sometimes I can barely recollect if I've touched someone when I see them standing in front of me, so my first order of business is to touch them in some way. Hand on the shoulder or a brush against their arm, to gauge a memory, tactile and true, to find a vibratory point of connection. If I touch you, it's because I want to know you, to remember you, to feel you later on when I'm alone in the dark and trying to find reasons for living. I do know how many dead human bodies these hands have touched. No matter where I am or who I'm with or what I am doing, I always remember touching those dead human bodies, those empty vessels, those shells to be burned, buried, misremembered. There is no lack of diversity in the dead human bodies these hands have touched. Family, friends, foes, strangers, lovers, allies, white, black, brown, yellow, red, young, old, too soon, not soon enough, never saw it coming, and knew death was a breath away. I do not remember how I myself like to be touched. Have you ever been beaten? With hands? With words? With time? I think time is cruel and violent. I think time is the greatest weapon other than silence. Silence is the weapon that stains the darkest. The dreams we have when we sleep are magic. Some folks say the subconscious mind has all sorts of agendas that get worked out in dreams. Some folks say that dreams don't matter, that they're just garbled electrical current. Some folks say that they can never remember their dreams. Some folks, like me for instance, have dreams that batter and beat their heart about, dreams that turn the rest of the day into a fog at the front of the brain and clouding every action. I never kept a dream journal, but I did lie to a potential lover once and said that I had. She was intrigued by the idea, so I made up a bunch of shit off the cuff, and then she went and looked up what all that made up shit I had told her translated to. Turns out, what I told her translated into her never having sex with me. Figures. Have you ever met someone and only spoken maybe 20 words to them, but find yourself with them in your movies all the time, their smile, or their laugh, or just their glow? A girlfriend from high school told me in an email that she still had the jean jacket that used to belong to me, where I had painted my old band's logo on the back of it. I keep on meaning to email her to see if she still has it, to see if she'll send it to me. I don't remember even giving it to her, but she was kind of a brat, and I'm sure she just sort of took it from me after letting me suckle on her or something like that. I remember the last time I saw it on her, a house party, and she and I were making out in the locked bathroom, and I begged her to take off her top and bra and just wear the vest so I could see her in it. But I was so fucked up, I don't remember if we had sex or not. We probably didn't. I sometimes remember what she tasted like, and remember how her bottom lip would bruise from kissing. She is on her third husband and has children in high school. She likes to act as if she was never punk rock, and now she's way into country music and ATVs and boating on lakes. This explains so much. Sometimes when I'm in the room with someone I'm curious about, I dream about them right there on the spot, like whole dreams that span a life and love and fucking and fighting and eating and crying. These dreams last for tiny parcels of time but feel immense and never-ending. It always seems to happen from across a room. Nobody's the wiser, especially me. I can never hurt you as much as I hurt myself. This should be written on a t-shirt I wear every day. I read a book about two young girls who'd been adopted by wolves in India. I read about how a man had found them after hearing tales of them, almost ghosts, and how he killed their family of wolves and tried to raise the girls as girls, and not as they had been raised with their wolves, and how one of them died quickly, and her sister lived to be 16, and she died of tuberculosis, alone in an alien place, without her sister, without her wolves. That right there, that last bit I just said, that's everything that's wrong with every single one of us. I am a dreamer. Are you my people? Thank you.